Geostorm. So Geostorm is a movie. Full spoilers, by the way. As if you give a fuck. It's Geostorm. As if anyone would give a fuck. So this movie starts out with a voiceover of a little girl expositing global warming.
Everyone was warned, but no one listened. A rise in temperature, ocean patterns changed, and ice caps melted.
But they never exactly say global warming.
They called it extreme weather.
As to what I can only assume is to not piss off the people that think vaccinations cause autism. It stars Gerard Butler as this climatologist dude. I feel like they wrote two different characters and then just merged them into one, because like he's supposed to be this climatologist smart guy who invented this weather machine that the movie takes place on, like, you know, around. Like, it's about this weather machine in the sky that's controlling the weather so like ridiculous natural disasters don't happen. But Gerard Butler is supposed to be the smart guy, and they like play him as like he's some like badass. Like, he beats up people and like he's like a troublemaker. And it makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like, there's no reason why Gerard Butler just couldn't be a badass character who's just there for like whatever the fuck reason, action. Like, I feel like a climatologist would be more suited to Jesse Eisenberg or someone. The fucking satellite, this string of satellites surrounding the globe, and the station that houses the technology that supports this is called Dutch Boy, and I don't really know why. I don't think they ever give a reason as to why this thing is called the Dutch Boy. And it's just a stupid, silly sounding name.
They gave the satellite net a technical name, but we all came to call it Dutch Boy, after the story of the child who plugged a dam with his finger.
Dutch Boy! So Gerard Butler arrives at this like Senate hearing thing in Washington, D.C. And they want to like replace him because he's a troublemaker and shit, and he's like punching people. And he's, you know, rightfully defending himself.
Climate ISS Chief Operations Coordinator, may the record reflect that he was nearly 1 hour late.
Yeah, sorry about that. I literally had to fly in from outer space.
That's fair. And then, like, you know, he's defending himself, and then they fire him, and then he's talking to his brother, who looks like he should be playing his son, or at least a nephew of some sort. And he's like,
I told you, this had to go well, and it didn't.
I'm very confused by this, because if this needed to go well, what could have Gerard Butler done in this situation to make this go well? Because it seems like the Senate people already had their minds made up about everything. You know, there's nothing really he could have said to make them go, oh, you mean we don't have to replace you? Awesome, thanks for coming by. See you later. Like, no, they're here to fire you. There's nothing there. There was no way this wasn't going to go well. So arguing that this needed to go well and it didn't because you talked back and did all this stuff, it's like, what could he have done at all? So later we're in China, and we're introduced to this character who's a friend of Gerard Butler's brother. I don't know any of the characters' fucking names in this. I mean, why bother even learning? And why bother learning any fucking names in this at all? There's this weird scene where like there's this Chinese guy, and he's like helping. He's one of the good guys, I suppose. I mean, I don't fucking know. And he's buying like drinks from this convenience store, and the cat keeps jumping into the refrigerator. I guess because it's hot.
You got any room in there for me?
And so it keeps jumping into the refrigerator. And before the scene cuts away, the cat turns around, it shows its asshole to the camera. But as soon as it shows its asshole, it cuts away. And I feel like it was meant to be like a joke. Like, it was meant to be a stupid, like, haha, look, a cat's butthole. But they cut away so fast that I'm thinking, like, did they just, like, cut around that? Like, what was cut from this movie? I'm assuming a cat's asshole. So then this guy's leaving the convenience store, and he drops like an egg, and he looks down, and it's like boiling on the ground and starts cooking on the ground. I'm like, wouldn't you be able to feel heat that hot? Like I get like, oh yeah, 100 degrees, 110 degrees, that's awfully hot. But I'm pretty sure it takes a lot more than like a couple hundred, like over a little bit 100 degrees to cook an egg. Like it would be over. You know what? Let me just Google how hot an egg has to be to cook. Okay, Google. How hot does an egg cook?
Here's a summary from Live Science. Bill Nye the Science Guy tested egg frying on a griddle on a stove a couple years ago and found the minimum temperature to cook an egg was 130 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, well now shut up.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
So anyway, he notices the egg frying on the ground, and then for some reason, like, fire just bursts out of the ground. This isn't weather. I understand this is like they say it's a gas main break, but what about extreme heat would cause a gas main break to ignite into flame if there's no flame to ignite it? I'm pretty sure just heat alone won't ignite gas. So anyway, he gets in his like smart car, which they're not the fastest cars, and he starts outrunning this heat. And buildings start falling down as like ground explodes behind him and buildings are falling down and he's outrunning these buildings. And if you can't outrun weather, you can't outrun catastrophic building collapses. That's not how that works.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
So anyway, they reverse on their plan to get Gerard Butler fired, and they're gonna rehire him so he can find out what the fuck's going on with Dutch boy. And so he has to leave, and his daughter is like sad that he has to go, despite the fact that he's only been home for like 2 days. And I get that like a kid would be upset, but she's like 13 or 12 or some shit. And she's like,
Don't treat me like I'm a child.
says the child. So Gerard Butler arrives at Dutch boy, and he's looking around at it as if he hasn't been there for like months or years. Like, you were here a couple of days ago. Why are you looking at it as if you hadn't seen it in years? He gets off the shuttle and he's like, look at her go, oh my gosh, look at her. Running like a beaut.
Look at you, girl. Living and breathing.
You were just here, right? Like you were here like last week. I don't understand this. And so then he hops on board and he starts meeting like the crew, which again, they should know him because he was there not too long ago. Not much time has passed since he was fired, since he came home from the Dutch boy. And like, again, these shouldn't be new people. These would just be, you know, they should know who he is. And also, when they do meet him, they don't recognize him. They don't recognize the person who invented the biggest contribution to human life in history in this movie. You're telling me they don't know who Gerard Butler is? The guy who invented the fucking Dutch boy? And so after they do realize who he is, the one guy starts like stammering and like making an ass out of himself.
You look much older than I would have thought. I mean, you look good, but your physical appearance does not match the amount of time that has elapsed in your life.
That's not funny. So now Gerard Butler, brother, is talking to like this tech girl person, and at this point in film, I thought we were past computers making beeps and boops at like random things, like things that shouldn't make beeps and boops. They're just making beeps and boops.
Wait, look. Oh my God.
I thought we left this on basic cable, like on network television in like pre 9/11. So now she's all like intrigued about what the fuck's going on with Dutch boy, and she says,
I want in on the action.
What action? What action do you expect? You're behind a desk. Are you even like, what kind of action do you believe you're qualified for? Like, do you just want to like help like you've always been? What exactly is your job? So anyway, Gerard Butler's on the station and they're looking at like some fucking satellite thing. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what any of this shit is. Anyway, they're looking at it and it starts like freaking out and like flipping around and it's malfunctioning. And one of the astronaut fucking scientist ladies runs over and she's like, "Open the door!
Somebody open this door now!"
Wouldn't that door be able to open from the other side? Like, wouldn't it be able to be open from both sides? I feel like that's a hazard. I feel like that should be able to be open. Like, isn't there a keypad where she can just go like beep 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 beep? Shh. Like, it would make sense if she went beep 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 beep, and then like it like froze up and like sparked at her and shit, and then she starts slamming on it. But they don't do that. It's locked and it's sealed there, and she can't get in from the other side. It has to be manually opened from the other side. It makes no fucking sense. I don't understand it. Gotta love that PS3 era smoke. Oh, I just top notch computer effects, guys. You just whoo. So anyway, they're trying to figure out how like a person died and got sucked out of the ship in the beginning of the movie, or at least earlier in the movie, and they have to go out into space and dislodge one of the side panels from the side of the station. And I'm like, shouldn't they not be the ones doing this? Why is Gerard Butler and this French lady going out and doing it themselves? Shouldn't there be more qualified people whose job it is to put on a spacesuit and enter this non-atmospheric area to get it? Why is he doing it? If you didn't tell me, I would think there's only like 5 people on this fucking station. But there's literally like hundreds of people on the station manning different jobs and situations. Like, I understand Gerard Butler's character, who his job is to be like, okay, I have to figure out what is wrong. Why is the guy who's most important on this station the one putting his life in jeopardy to solve the situation? Why isn't there a person whose designated role is to go into space for them? Why are they out there? So the fucking Chinese dude starts like investigating, you know, the crazy weather shit that's happening around the world in China, and like apparently like there was like a village in Afghanistan that the American military was just gonna roll up on and destroy, and they get there and they're like flash frozen. But again, it's only just this one village that's flash frozen. It's not even like an entire area of the world. It's literally just like one section of a place, and which is confusing to me anyway. But anyway, he starts like investigating it and he figures out like, oh, like we should meet up so we can talk about it. I don't want to talk about it on the phone. They tried to come here and destroy my shit. And so he's like, they're meeting up at a restaurant, and instead of just like, he's at a stop sign or at a stoplight, and he's waiting for the light to change, and a guy comes up behind him and in an attempt to kill him, shoves him into oncoming traffic, and he gets hit by a car. I feel like there are better ways to murder someone. You know, like getting hit by a car doesn't guarantee death. You know, like he could have just been severely injured, maybe not walk again for the rest of his life, maybe being put into a coma. But getting hit by a car doesn't necessarily guarantee death. They were raiding his office earlier in the movie, and he was just hiding in the closet. Like, all they do is raid his, like, computer. They don't search around to see if anyone's there. Just, like, look around. Someone's here, obviously. Like, shoot him in the fucking head. Don't wait until he's in fucking public and then push him, or in a crowd of people, push him into oncoming traffic, and then casually get into a car and then drive away. And the fucking guy's fucking girlfriend tries to chase after this car, and she's not even running. She's just jogging after this car. And then she stops and aims, but then doesn't shoot. Like, wouldn't it have just been better to memorize the license plate of the car? Like, this is the laziest attempt to stop a car from driving away ever. So anyway, this Chinese guy dies on the fucking ground, and now like all of their hope of like figuring out what the fuck's wrong with Dutch boy is just, you know, over. So Gerard Butler and his brother are talking through like an intercom thing, and his brother gets mad at him because, you know, he just saw his fucking friend die, and, you know, Gerard Butler's just being Gerard Butler, and he tries to like leave, and then Gerard Butler's like,
"Hey Max, we don't walk out on each other. That's the unspoken code between brothers."
And what really pisses me off about this fucking conversation thing is that they play it back later because there's like some hidden code in what he was saying to him in this conversation, because apparently when they were younger they had a secret code they used to talk to each other in. But I don't understand how this works, because I'm pretty sure when they were kids they weren't using video footage to decipher a code. Like, this isn't the code you invented when you were children, right? That has to be a different code. Like, I understand, like, they're speaking like ubby-dubby or something, you know, but they're not. It's like, oh, it's the phone number, and every number is like another word, and so they cut out all the superfluous shit, and it's like a secret message, and like, Gerard Butler's not smart enough to fucking do that, where every other sentence is part of the larger message. Like, so stupid. So anyway, they decipher the message, and it's like, oh yeah, so, you know, they figure out that someone is sabotaging Dutch Boy with a virus. And what really pissed me off about when they're looking at the playback of the video, for some reason, the camera is encroaching upon Gerard Butler, and I don't understand why it's doing that, because there's no physical camera in this room. Its cameras are static. Cameras don't just gradually move around a room. Like, there's no reason why in a playback this would be moving in on Gerard Butler. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. What's really weird about these video chats is he later tries to go back and talk to Gerard Butler, but like earlier they showed how this works, and there's a guy sitting there behind the camera, like at a computer, right? And then he goes back later and has like a conversation where they're not using code, and they're very obviously talking about the sabotage of the Dutch Boy. And like, I thought you were trying to keep this a secret. Isn't there a guy sitting right there, right? And also, even if there wasn't a guy sitting right there, aren't these video chats monitored? Like, aren't they watched, right? Like, what someone's going to hear this. Someone's going to look back over this playthrough and be like, okay, we have to keep the integrity of the ship and the secrets of this stuff, so let's monitor all the conversations these people have. But they apparently don't, because they're just like, oh, let's fucking, you know, just, you know, they're talking and they don't care if anyone hears, but even though the whole time they're trying to keep it a secret. So anyway, there's another fucking, like, there's two more storms that happen in like Japan and Rio de Janeiro, and like huge ice boulders start like falling from the sky in Japan, which I don't know if giant ice boulders would form magically within minutes. I mean, I'm assuming it would take multiple days, and even then the weight of them would cause them to fall to earth, you know, at a certain point. Like, I understand if they're like this big or something like that, but they're like crashing into, you know, towering buildings, and like, they would have fallen ages ago. Like, that destruction makes absolutely no sense. And in Rio de Janeiro, the ocean starts like freezing, like, and everybody starts running from the beach, and everyone just sort of gets flash frozen, and this girl is running from the beach from the ice behind her. Like, it's trying to catch her. Like, people are running away from weather. Weather is a serial killer in this movie, and it makes no sense. You can't outrun weather. You can't outrun weather. So anyway, to try to get, the passcodes from the president, because they assume it's the president who's doing the sabotaging for some reason, and so they're like, oh yeah, we need to talk to the president and get the passcodes from the president. He's like,
because the president is the kill codes. Biometrics, 10 fingerprints, 2 retina scans.
Oh, okay, so that, I mean, I guess that makes sense. And then he takes him to like, okay, let's see if we can go get see if we can go do this. And so he takes him into a room and then tries to kill him, and it turns out he's the bad guy who wants to destroy everybody they're in Florida, and wants to kill everybody in Florida. So they kill so he can eliminate everybody at this like presidential fucking, get together, concert, whatever the fuck. And so he could become president. Which is so stupid. And anyway, if he was the bad guy, why would he tell the truth about the passcodes? Why would he tell the truth about the president you know, all 10 fingers in it. Why would this make sense? Why wouldn't he lie? And wouldn't he be like, oh yeah, we have the passcode written down somewhere, we'll go get it. Like, why tell him the truth about the passcode at all? Like, this is the dumbest bad guy I've ever met. And a lightning strike strikes the arena where all of the congressional fucking get-together, fucking DNC, RNC, whatever the fuck it is, where all this is happening. And a lightning strike hits this arena and it just explodes as if it's filled with gasoline.
Dear God.
Why would that happen? That wouldn't happen. So they have to kidnap the president, like straight out of National Treasure 2. They kidnap the president, and they're like driving away from this guy, and this guy's shooting them, blah, 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 right? And then they finally capture this guy who tried to kill everybody and become the president, and get rid of all the shitholes in America, because now this bad guy's revealed to be some like MAGA type fucking bad guy.
Why would you do this?
Because no one else would. I'm turning the clock back to 1945 when America was a shining city on a hill, not just a bank disguised as a country.
Like, fuck off. So stupid. Oh, I did it because no one else would. I only wanted to get rid of the shitholes. Like, Japan's a shithole? Rio de Janeiro, probably one of the most beautiful areas of the world, you know, at least of the southern hemisphere is a shithole, right? Saudi Arabia, some of the richest people in the fucking world, is a shithole? Huh? So anyway, now Dutch Boy's in like this self-destruct mode for some reason, which is irreversible for no reason. Like, why wouldn't a self-destruct mode be reversible? What if it gets triggered by accident? Suddenly there's no way to undo it? You're telling me there's not a fail-safe in case something goes wrong? Like, I understand, yeah, the self-destruct is a part of a fail-safe, but a safe fail, or whatever the fuck. But you're telling me there's no fail-safe for the explosion part? Did anybody think about what they wrote when they wrote this movie at all? So anyway, Gerard Butler and everybody tries to get off this fucking ship, and it's about to explode, and it does, because they can't reverse the fucking like they stop all the natural disasters. Like, they got the fucking passcode, and they were able to erase the virus and all that shit, and now it's exploding, and they play it up like everyone got out of there, but then Gerard Butler's dead, right? And you're like, you know, we're not fucking stupid. We know he survives this. You know, you're not gonna kill off the main character off screen. Like, this movie really thinks we're fucking stupid. And then, of course, he's alive, and everyone in all the fucking, like, NASA places are all like, yeah, all cheering and hugging and throwing their papers in the air. And it's like, wouldn't you be cheering when you stop the virus? Why does the life of Gerard Butler matter as much as the lives of billions of people on the planet? And at the end, his brother and Gerard Butler and his brother are like meet up again, and they go in, and he straight up looks like he's about to make out with them. I thought he was for a minute. I was like, oh shit, what? And then he's like, because he grabs him by the neck and pulls his face, and you're like, and so they hug, and like, this movie's fucking stupid. And then the daughter gives like another fucking stupid Transformers-esque fucking, we have to care about our planet or something. I don't even fucking remember. It's literally the ending of like every Transformers movie. I'm surprised Linkin Park didn't play at the end.
I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here. We are waiting.
This movie's awful. This movie's just shit. I mean, it's so bad, it's good. Like, I mean, it's you watch it not because you want to see, like, you watch it because you want to see ridiculous shit, not because you want to watch a good movie. You watch this to laugh at it. It takes itself way too fucking seriously, and it tries to be funny in ways that aren't funny at all, and just This movie's awful. This movie's awful. as much as I enjoyed laughing at it, I can't give it a good rating because of how much I enjoy it. My ratings are very objective. They're not based on, you know, they're not based on how good this was, how good this was. It's based on how much I enjoy a movie. But even as much as I enjoyed watching and then shitting on this movie, I can't in my right mind give it anything over a fucking 2. Like, just get drunk or high or something and just watch a really dumb fucking movie. Just, fuck this movie. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like my video, subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna make more. I'm on Twitter at the Shane Watson. Same thing on Instagram. I mean, I rarely post. I post a little bit on Instagram, and it's nothing. So, I mean, anyway, bye.